Okay, kiddo. How do I turn off the mic? Can you hear me? I want to make sure you guys can hear my voice clearly. To define some of the terms for Satanism hitting your chakra system, mind, body, and soul worldwide. Any of these techniques implied in any language, anywhere. Satanism. And then controlled opposition, voice of God, still Satan. Just controlled opposition. Voice to skull nonsense. Ruins the human condition, mind, body, and soul. That's not God either. So, satanic repeaters. They started using them on my man Kevin Christian in the ATL. He's getting inundated with satanic repeaters, which can literally kill. Get you to kill yourself. Wicked bitch's ex-girlfriend, man. She's like a hag from that word escaped me at the moment. But satanic repeaters, like 6 to 8 words, a lot of it derived from the secret surveillance groups used in even street theater or satanic set design. Illusions of gang stalking, fake EMF, perping, reptilian, and then real human flesh and blood that they put on payroll or something like that. Will say these words relative to sensitizing or trying to trigger like home collected data like this and other stuff. Satanic repeaters and suggesters are the same, like 6 to 8 words used, but not repeated over and 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 over again. So they orchestrated a whole bunch of stuff that I think inadvertently and on purpose, and then coerced and pay off and all this stuff. Like a lot of Portland, at least by appearance, around me, because a lot of they could design people around me as I go around. Participated in a satanic repeater. By the time I got to Vegas, they were the V2K perps on my head were bragging about they thought they could kill me with it. I still live. The applications of no love. And it's part of this deadening tactic and strategy on me now publicly too. And they did nothing to the former president shifts and hiding behind national security when we're talking about planetary enslavement. And I'm trying to give you guys literally a 50,000 year update on this shit. Like, I'm just not going to have a lot of sympathy or love, like, for you, federal government. There may have been a man that talked about, giving the government something to fear. And I've, because of the TI status, they fucking, my quotes and stuff, I'm getting probably even memory wiped or memory blocked there, but I've kicked out so much content. Sometimes I forget that it's even my own data because I've been deleting my records, not unlike Philip. He's been forced to delete his, he said. That sort of happened to me too. They can get you to destroy your own website while you're under my control. My opus on higher ed, predominantly a collection of links. I could recollect those, but the original writing on that website, on my first website, is sunk. My associate Philip is recovering his work, and the perps in his mind are trying to falsely accuse of what they've done to him, and probably satanic repeaters and suggesters, to punish him over the sin and try to force some kind of consent. They use the same tactics or stratagem on me. So satanic repeaters and suggesters of all their Satanism. Any of that. If you're a Muslim and it says it's Allah, it's still Satan. If a Christian says it's Jesus, it's still Satan. It's just faking those presences like very convincingly. Nano thieving. This is happening to Philip and I. I don't examine all the applications of that. I have a limited perception as one mind, but what comes from it, they can have puppets out in society parroting what came from me in an AI that is 150 separate humans, but one group consciousness behind the scenes. If it liked me that day, it could be like, well, there's that Northwest guy, huh? And my perspectives have been rendered. Like I normally wouldn't have been on the side of world death, but I think Wes has got some good points about taking down the grid before it gets too hot for too many people, qualitatively and quantitatively. Same plot to enslave every man, woman, and child. So nanothievery, that's another part of the Satanism. You destroy the expert status of the pathos, logos, and ethos. Plus, I'm getting fed bad information and like percentages of truth used to mislead you at moments of death and on the moon. Try to add meaning to the suffering. Satanic repeaters and suggesters, nanothievery. Satanic disrespect. It's where people accuse you of being Satan when you're not Satan, so they'll be disrespectful. That's Satanism. That happened to me. So nano thief, satanic repeaters, satanic suggesters, satanic disrespect, and satanic misdirection. So Philip talked about these gang stalking terrorism being framed in this neighbor relationship. Like I get nano thieved from a fictitious or AI or, the satanic misdirect of the black man's image that was an EMF gang stalker perp or an AI consciousness or just another Nazi salami dick lapdog for the reptilian or what, there effectively, I mean, if you watched me all day long, you wouldn't see that there was really, it's just me in flesh and blood. So satanic misdirection is like ascribing all of my work today and saying, no, that was actually Tim's neighbor. And then ascribing onto me all of like the satanic disrespect of the last 2019 years. Like, nope, he did it. Or trying to blame me, a TI, for 1.5 million Americans getting perped like me, like a fire, body, and mind, like right now, in that real time estimates. And that's some of what they've tried to do. The applications of satanic misdirection need to be thoroughly examined to be worked against. So nano thieving, satanic misdirection. What's another example of satanic misdirection that would be good for the general public to understand for personal defense? Oh yeah, you'd think people would appreciate me. I've done something better than Jesus with Black Swiss cheese holes. You just get recycled through the moon by being misled by his image. They've made him a false idol too at moments of death. It's my understanding. Nothing's holy to them. But instead, everybody hates me right now. That's the impression of my life, more or less, except for like a few. My family's come back together. They weren't killed and replaced by reptilian and shit like that. They're doing fine. That's it. The applications of the satanic misdirection going on could level the earth with good cause from creation, like what the locals would call Yahweh. And I still don't think he gave you his real name. The creator of the cosmos, like the metaverse. Are you kidding? What do you think you are? Probably not. Don't, and you wouldn't want to get in a fight with something like that. And everything else would be a false god. Everything else would be a false god. So satanic misdirection, satanic topping. So all the V2K, everything, like coming in and out, broadcasting in and out through the Mockingbird media, through the little channel, bottleneck communications I can even get out as a TI, the internet, satellites, the moon, the literal sun, solar object that just lets this go on. Anything in my mind, outside of my mind, my chip emanating that voice out there that I'm arguing with, or the EMF perps whose consciousness is around me, or what thinks they're above the 10 commandments, or whatever has been here for the last 50 fucking thousand years is some of the estimates. We just keep getting memory wiped and forget. They're really good at long-term planning. It's a satanic top. Beginning and ending the story. It shouldn't be in people's minds and bodies like this, period. It's a satanic topic. Nothing more. Satanic misdirection, satanic topping, nano thieving, satanic pride. They have the cheat advantages through jumping out of computer screens to rape people to death and other stuff I don't understand. Use it as a means for enslavement of the 3D from these demon perspectives. Nothing. I have them written down and things like that. It was channeled information, and I learned to recognize the behavior. A satanic misdirect can be like a patsy who is taking the blame for something they tried to do for me for like 1.5 million people getting TI'd right now, or the human trafficking worldwide, or what's allegedly going on with the Vatican right now during it for these like real-time events in the Northwest and then globally. Deep Thought News has done a lot of research. It's talking about R&M having an international agenda. I may be forgetting some of the criteria, but I'll talk to them more and maybe write out an agenda item for my next video. Be a little more professional in my video. I can't be all things to all people here. One of the more important websites defining what is evil at the Stanford Plato.edu website, I might add. You check those out. Doesn't have like all the internet connections to have like the appropriate image or something like that when it's displayed on the adapted internet now. And it's one of the most thorough definitions of evil on the planet. And like those people aren't internet people, so they're not, obsessing like the computer heads of not only hacking websites, but people's various bodies and minds. So that's some of the Satanism that comes off the top of my head. MK Ultra, that's all Satanism. I'm interconnected with those systems, consciously or not consciously. There may be some more criteria or rules for warfare that I'm forgetting that I'll revisit, and I feel a little at a loss for words, but that happens because they have me under mind control. Mr. Potato Head over here. And they do a satanic repeater on the name of an old email address I had, nabonapursuit@gmail.com, when hell broke loose in 2016 and I almost died in Tualatin. I haven't talked to my brother Brad since then. They probably disrupted even man-in-the-middle attack attempts on me trying to get it across to talk to him, even if he was receiving any of my communications. A lot of them were planning on me being dead by now, that their Zoom streak would have worked. And if it's a second copy of Earth, all those motherfuckers like risk 5 words. It's designed for them. Beyond eternal punishments that last. So in a second copy of Earth, and I muse about it often because it's sort of like a safety mechanism for me, I'm being the meanest motherfucker on the earth, period. And I'm like, the nicer I am to them, like the meaner I'm actually being. I'm trying to get them to take a deterrent. Like, how about you turn off my chips? I'm not actually the fucking terrorist here, you morons. I'm just plain dumb. So I've been having these conversations sort of like this for a lot of the last 3 years. For the last 15, I did a fair amount of writing on Facebook accounts I've sunk. I've tried to stop channeling altogether, like altogether. And I still get satanic repeaters and suggesters every waking day. I was born one day before the sign of the beast for these timed events on the Christian calendar in 2016. And that's when the sitting president Bush was named as my Antichrist. And he's just another satanic misdirect. The real Satanists never want to get caught. They want to have endless patsies and AI and fronts and this and that. Black man staring back at me through covert surveillance on my Apple computer. It's just a misdirect to get people mad at black people, which they shouldn't do. Particularly the African American TI, like myself. I'm a white slave. They're enslaved again. Just like their ancestors, actually worse, much worse. Mind, body, and soul. And I'm getting deadened. And I'd like that to stop too. Buddhist, aspiring Arhut. So you can probably expect more of these videos from me. It'll be nice to connect with people that actually knew me, that were a few friends that know to go to the right account on Facebook. I had a couple of them that got through the warfare, got closed or whatnot, and they may think that my old account, I don't know. And a lot of people may have walked away from Facebook too, but I'm in this sort of weird position of reporting on this stuff and using social media, and it's like one of the instruments used to Zugstreak me, decompose. I had I can't remember in this moment, and that may have been by their design, if it was before or after my car crash, their assertion that they had made me bulletproof. And it's kind of hard to tell in the in-betweens of all this shit, but I survived a wreck that I may have died from under other variables. And a 97-year-old Duke with that kind of car wreck, like around the timing of all this shit, the Queen's husband, that guy should have died. So in shit like that, they may sort of intervene, the super quick and deceptive even, because there's no such thing as angels, but there's a whole lot of devils. And that's the lesson of the 50,000-year update. Anything angelic degrades human mankind in parasitical enunciation the first time it comes across your fucking lips. They should never be in anybody's mind or body like this. Good evening, West Coast. It's about 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I've made this day a little bit more accessible. You'll catch up. The news cycle, if you're working in a daily, happens the day before, and then it's reported on the press in the next day. Maybe I'll have some more coffee food. I actually love you guys, mammals. That's my last incarnation here. I want to teach you how to do it too. I'll talk more about trying to outsmart something that knows your thoughts, knows everything about you, can flood you with unnormal, feelable sensations of love in human form in moments, and then try and coerce you to go into the white tunnel and shit. Like I've had experience with that shit. That's why I'm still alive. The light of hope, that means there's no light at all. That's a trick. Like that heavenly light, that's so manipulated. It's the final insult, the final trick, the final lie. Some of it's been called the slavery systems from the moon after moments of death and shit like that. Nothing's holy. Oh, and for everybody that may catch this in Oregon, and Wheeler County is named after the sitting mayor of Portland right now, Ted Wheeler, who I was trying to help secure some ways to help you go to college with. And I have some ancestry in the state of Utah, but I'm not Mormon, Buddhist. Get it straight, okay? And it's all details at this point and just want to evacuate.